What's up, guys? Welcome to BingX weekly live stream. Today, we're going to talk about charting without bias, right? It's really hard to do, even for me sometimes. So, it's just about being objective. And really, I feel like the key is not overexposure. If you're not overexposed, then you're not going to be as what's the word? You're not going to be as set on a direction, right? Like if you go really, really heavy and you buy, then you really want price to go up. If you just have a strategy or, like you're risking a small amount, you're going to be like, all right, price didn't go up. Big deal. Move on, right? On to the next one. So it's kind of the key here is having a set strategy, understanding bullish and bearish criteria for the market, because it doesn't matter what you want it to be. It just matters what the market is showing and what other people are going to see. Because if people see a really bullish engulfing candle at support, you're going to have a lot of people see that and they're probably going to buy. If you have a bearish engulfing candle at resistance, people are going to see that and they might be more likely to sell, right? So the market shows people something and then they react off of it, especially traders, right? So that's part of it. Another part of it is just, if you've been sitting in front of the charts for hours, sometimes you just need to back up and step back. Or if you're, biased to the downside and price continues to go up, rather than fighting it, just sit out, step back, give it some time. And then come back when you've kind of had some time for your emotions to relax and, your mind to rest. So that's some basic ideas. We're going to get into it more here. But of course, thanks to BingX for sponsoring this weekly live stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed all the free content. I do like to point out that BingX has virtual currency you can trade with if you're just practicing or want to practice a new strategy. So if they don't load your account with that, just get a hold of their live chat support and they can load it up for you. It's risk-free, blah, blah, blah. It's really cool. A lot of people have enjoyed that for when they're starting out. If you're looking for a link to join, I do have one below. I obviously really appreciate you guys. I do get a small kickback from that, so I appreciate that. BingX has low fees anyway, which is really nice for you guys. So it's really cool. That's why I use it, especially on low time frames. Anyway, feel free to ask questions. I do have the chat up. But basically, we usually talk about my trade because I usually have a trade open when these things are going on, right? So I'm still holding my scalp short on Twitter. All right, there's a 15-minute time frame. And basically what I'm looking for here is, again, I really don't have a bias. I just say, all right, here's a couple clear trends. Are we going to go up or down, right? I don't care if we go up or down. I just want to make a trade on whichever direction price wants to go. So if price goes up, maybe I'll make a trade. If price goes down, maybe I'll make a trade, right? So I'm just looking for a setup. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter, right? I just want to make money. So if price is going to move, let's see, from this apex, somebody asked if I copy trade on BingX. I do not. My lawyers do not approve of that. And so to avoid somebody coming after me for financial advice, because that would legally be categorized as financial advice, I just stay away from it. It's just not worth the risk. So I apologize that I do not have copy trading enabled on there. But again, it's because my legal team has said no. So that's why I'm not doing that. But anyway, so back to this, you guys. I don't care if price moves 6% up or 6% down here. I just want to move. So I'm basically waiting for a sign to tell me which way to go, right? And I am going to do some webinars too, and I'm going to really get more in depth in this kind of stuff. But basically, I'm just waiting for a sign, right? And you see here, basically, my trend line broke down. So I don't have bias here. I just say, okay, the market is telling me that this is breaking down. And if it starts breaking down, people are going to start selling, right? And other people are going to see this breaking down as well, and maybe they'll sell. And maybe the people that are selling because it broke down will cause panic selling by the people that don't know what's going on, right? So I'm actually up about 2% now, 1.6% on this trade. And it was a great risk to reward, right? Because I entered a short up actually about 50. I got in just a little late, but that's okay. And, my stop loss is probably about 1%, and my target is about 4 to 5%, okay? So great risk to reward there. no bias. I just say, all right, what is the chart telling me? And look, I've got top BinX giving me a sell approaching signal. Okay. And when a sell approaching signal is given, we usually bounce and we usually sell off. And that's exactly what's happening. We have OBV starting to break down, right? So these are just signs that tell me that momentum is weakening and the market might go down. There's no bias involved with that. It's just literally saying, oh, the market might go this direction, right? And another way you can really work on bias is to zoom out, okay? Zoom out and look at support and resistance levels. All right, so if we just zoom way out here, okay, and we just highlight some high time frame levels, you're going to see that we have a consolidation and a breakdown here. So this is going to be a resistance, okay? And if you don't know how to draw resistance and supports, I have a video for it in this series. So it's on my YouTube. You can watch it. And it's literally called, I think, support and resistances, okay? So here's a resistance because this was we had a breakdown, consolidation, breakdown, retest, and more drop, okay? So that's a resistance. So right now, I say we're at a resistance on high time frames, okay? And then here, I would say this is a support, okay? And so if we reject a resistance, we probably go down. And if we hold at support, we go up, right? So I keep it very simple like that. And I just say, price is at resistance, I'm cautious. Price is at support, I'm optimistic. All right, I don't like to use bullish and bearish because those bullish and bearish insinuate that you have a bias attached. I don't really care. Like, there's no need to have a bias. All right, the only reason people have bias is because they're overexposed to the long side. That's the only reason anyone would have a bias is if they're overexposed. Okay, in my opinion, bias means emotions, and the only reason I'm ever emotional is if I'm very overexposed in one direction, which happens every once in a while. Sometimes I'll take a big position on a low time frame with low risk, with a tight stop loss, and if price starts going against me, I'm like, no, you're gonna go down, right? That doesn't happen often, but that's me having kind of like a bias to that, like a little bit of emotion saying you better go, whatever. And that's only when I'm in a large position, like Twitter right now. Smaller position, I'm up already. I don't really care if it could bounce here, right? And so you always want to think about the counter argument too of your trade. So like, let's just say this started to show a really nice reversal candle. I have to be ready to say, okay, I thought price was going to go down. This looks like a reversal candle. I probably should change my mind here. I probably should say maybe price isn't going to go down, right? And not only that, you guys, we're seeing it with Bitcoin right now. Look at the daily chart. If you have no bias attached to this, how can you say you're bullish right now? How can you say that you think it's going to go up? Look at this candle. Are people going to buy on this candle? A little bit, right? Low time frame traders, whatnot. But the overall market, do people want to buy a candle like this? No. They want to buy a candle like this. A nice bullish candle. They want to buy a candle like this, right? People want to buy bullish candles. They don't want to buy bearish candles. So to say that you're bullish here and you think price is just going to keep going up, like that's a bias. That's emotions. Like there's no reason if you unattach emotions, you're just going to say that is an ugly candle, right? Which it is, right? You're going to say up here, this is a trend reversal candle because it is, right? You're going to say over here, this is resistance and it's rejecting because you don't have a bias. You have to just see things for what they are. Here yesterday, you had to say, okay, this is a support because this is a heavy support. Look at all the support I have here. And yes, we broke through, but you're going to say this is a support until it's not. And then it breaks through. And then you're like, okay, we are going to continue lower because support has broken down, right? So now we have lost support again. We have resistance above now, which you can see here, this big wick, these EMAs, just a ton of resistance up here now. All right. So now where's our support? Well, we have like a lot of support in here. So maybe here. Okay. So a little bit lower, maybe before the next support. Where's my colors? Sorry. Okay. Green. There we go. Brain fart for a second. Sweet. My Twitter short is doing great right now. And I think I'm actually approaching target, you guys. Sorry for the interruption. I'm actually probably just going to close this here anytime. As soon as momentum stalls, which could actually be here, I'm going to go ahead and close this short. It could go a little bit lower here, but I'm pretty happy with this. This is kind of like a standard trade, like profit for me for the day. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to buy to cover my short. I'm going to at least cover half of it here to maximize some profit. And then we're going to see if it drops a little bit lower, and it's not. I'm just going to go ahead and close that real quick. Let's see, what time is it? We got 15-minute charges closed. So how's the 15-minute look? It actually looks like garbage. It's low volume though. So really what I want to see on these low time frames is just momentum continue. And the 30-minute looks like garbage, but again, we have 15 minutes left. The 1 hour is breaking down, but this could buy back up, and then we'd have a nice lower wick on this, and then we could bounce back up to my entry, right? So really, when I'm in these low time frame short positions, it starts getting close to my target. I usually just start closing when I see momentum stall. And like this 15 minutes shows an increase in momentum, so now I should expect momentum to continue a little bit here. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to close the rest. Now, I'd be a little bit more focused in the chart if I wasn't doing a live stream right now, but yeah, I mean, and it's easy when you're watching a chart to feel the momentum, but you can see here why momentum is stalling, because we do have a little support here. Okay, we have a little support here. And again, we have 15 minutes left till this candle closes. Or actually, we have 45 minutes left till this candle closes because it's a stock. So in 45 minutes, could this wick back up here, have a nice lower wick, and then people would buy, sending it back to this resistance? Of course. They definitely could. So now I don't want to see the support hold, but it's a low volume breakdown. So I'm not optimistic that it's going to continue here. But if it does, I'm not going to close just yet. And actually, I think I can use a trailing stop loss, trailing stop percentage, trailing stop dollar. I've never used a trailing stop on here before. 0.10. I'm going to use a 10-cent trailing stop here just for the hell of it. And let's see if it works. I don't think I did that right. Oh, maybe I did. Let's see. Sorry to interrupt the stream, you guys, but this is, my job. So I'm trying to make some money here. Yep, it's actually trailing a stop loss now, but I thought it only did half of the position. No, it's trailing a stop loss 10 cents now, so my stop loss is at 48.77. So I've got a 10-cent trailing stop loss now to try to maximize my profit on this drop here. And honestly, I could probably go to now that momentum's really cascading, you can see here momentum's really starting to drop. I could probably do like a 7 or 8 cent stop loss. And also, you guys, my stock count is almost back to all-time high. It's within 1%. It's less than 1% away from all-time high now, which is really cool. That's exciting. So yeah, I can get back to the live stream, to your regularly scheduled program now, because I have a trailing stop loss here. I'm going to tighten it up now though. I can't tighten it up. I'm just going to go ahead and close. This momentum is really going. Let's see. We're seeing a nice drop here. I'm going to close. It actually might close for me here. I didn't close yet, but I almost clicked it. So basically, I want to see this as the new rejection now. So I don't want it to go above 48.63. Stop market. So I'm going to put my stop market at 48.63, and I might get stopped out. But again, it's good profit locked in. It's tight stop loss now. My trailing stop is canceled. And then now if it starts to drop again, I'm going to add a trailing stop back in with like 5 cents. 0.05. And I'm just going to do that now because it puts it at 63. 48.62 is my new stop loss, 5 cents. And now I'm hoping to get a nice cascade, catch some really nice profit. I'm probably going to get stopped out here on these little rebounds, which is totally fine with me. Whoops. Yeah, and I think I just got activated. So it just got stopped out on that trade. There's my daily trade for the day. So that's cool. I'm glad you guys seem to like this. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was like $2,200 profit in about 30 minutes. Well, sorry, my contact's dry. Yeah, contact was dry there, you guys. I apologize. Hold on, I got solution over here. I'm back. I don't think I blinked that whole time. Okay, so now it probably rejects and goes lower, but I really don't care, you guys. I made some good profit, and that's really all I'm worried about now. And I've got some smaller positions now on some of these, like these shorts here, and this is a small long, and these are all really low risk. Everything should be low risk, okay? So that's that trade, you guys. Let's get back to what we were talking about, basically having no bias. So the thing is to develop some sort of technique or some sort of strategy that works both ways. Whether you, like, let's just say you base your trade strategy on a bearish engulfing candle and a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour chart at support or resistance. And that's a key here because I don't care about a bearish engulfing candle at support, okay? I really don't. And let's go to Bitcoin. I think I went to the wrong Bitcoin chart. Okay. So why don't I care about a bearish engulfing candle at support? Because usually it's just chop. And I'm going to see if I can find an example here. Is that a wick? Jeez, I thought that was a drawing. Here's a bearish. So let me zoom out, okay? And you're going to see this is a big support level, right? Okay. We can all agree this is a big support. And somebody asked what exchange I trade stocks on. I use TD Ameritrade. Billy said, no problem. Somebody asked a question. Hold on. Let me look at these questions real quick so I don't get too far behind. What indicators on my chart with the green plus below my trend line? If you're talking about this indicator, this is the Gunnar EMA. Okay, Gunnar EMA, this is free. You can use it. It's 11 and 22 EMA. The X's are just crosses on it. So if you want to use Gunnar EMA, it's free. Go for it. Top BinX is this one with the buy approaching alert, which you can see worked out pretty well there, and then it gives sell approaching alerts, yada yada. I actually just made Top BinX indicator access available on TradingView, so if you want to sign up for that, just go to topgunx.com. But anyway, so let's get back to the questions here. My problems are missing entries. Well, if you miss entry, just go to the next one. If you miss an entry, you either go to the next trade or you go smaller. That's how I do it. I have videos on, I think, the Prime XBT series on YouTube about getting late entries and calculating them and stuff. Such good alpha on bias. I would say I'm decent at charting, but I need to work on my emotions. Yeah, and the easiest way to get rid of emotions is size. The only time I ever have emotions is if I'm in a really large position. Otherwise, if I'm just keeping my normal position size, then I'm fine. And a lot of times, if I'm in a really large position, I have a really tight stop loss on low time frames. But I still can get a little emotional with that because a 0.5% move can be like, $2,000 or $3,000. So, but again, my stop loss is always really tight on those. But I have like a bias, and I'm like, drop, let me make this money. So anyway. So here's actually a couple really good examples of why I don't care about a bearish engulfing candle at support. This is a bearish engulfing candle. Price is at support. Simple as that. Bearish engulfing candles do not matter at support. They don't matter in sideways chop. You can have a million different candles here and none of them matter because you're in chop. Okay, so you need to understand that. Now, price is going up. I care about a bearish engulfing candle. Price is going down. I care about a bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so as price is going up here, let's see if I can find a bearish engulfing candle somewhere. Okay, you can see here, price is going up. I now have a bearish engulfing candle at what we're going to call as resistance. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, this is a bearish engulfing candle at resistance. I need to take note of this. And I need to potentially consider price could go down, and that's actually the exact top for now, okay? Now, this candle, again, this is a very bullish-looking candle, but it's at resistance, so I don't really care. And you can see why I don't care because it dropped anyway, right? So that's how you trade without a bias. You know that price is at resistance. This candle probably doesn't matter. If this candle is down at support, it's a very, very bullish candle, and then you're going to say, okay, we probably bounce. And I don't even see any of those candles right now, honestly, at this support. But here we have, some very bullish lower wicks. We have a tweezer bottom at support as well. I love tweezer bottoms. So tweezer bottom, we have a bullish engulfing candle at support. Okay. So here, this is a very, very good example, you guys. This is a 4-hour chart. Okay. So here I have a bullish engulfing candle at support. That tells me that price is probably going to go up. And this is all I need to, and again, you can have a million different strategies. You can do whatever. I am never going to be bearish after this candle, okay? And again, I don't like to use those terms, but it's easy for you guys to understand. I'm never going to think that price is going to go down after one of these candles. Now, if it does, that's fine, because I'm never going to overexpose myself. But if I'm taking a trade here and buying, if this next candle just closes below here, I'm going to say, okay, this is not a valid bullish engulfing candle. I'm going to sell. It's as simple as that. I get out. It didn't work out. Oh, well, okay? But if I do buy on this bullish engulfing candle at support, price goes up. And now what do I have? A bearish engulfing candle at resistance. So what am I going to do? I'm probably just going to sell there or short there. Okay. And you can see here, this ends up being the top for quite a while. And actually, this is the top, right? This is the top before a big drop to 36K. So, and we have another bearish engulfing candle down here. Okay. So then we drop. Okay, so let's just keep looking. So now we're at resistance. We just say we're at resistance. We have a bearish engulfing candle. Probably going to drop. Now look we're at a support again. So do I want to short this support? No, I'm never going to short a support. I never want to short late. Even if it breaks down, I need to wait for this to go below, retest, and then go lower. Then I could say we're at a resistance and I can short at a resistance. I am never, ever, 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 ever going to short support. Even on this daily chart today, okay? Even on this daily where we broke down heavy, I'm not going to short this right away. I would wait for a bounce and maybe short the bounce, but I'm never just going to short here, especially if that's at a support, okay? Now, if there's absolutely no support here and the next support is this low, I might get a small position in, but I'm never going to get a larger position in because there's always the possibility of it going up to a resistance. Okay, there's always that possibility that it goes back up to a resistance, and I only want to short resistances, especially if I'm using size, because that's when I get my best risk to reward. Okay, so let's go back to that 4-hour chart. Okay, and again, we reject here. This is a resistance. This is a support. Does it mean I need to close this? Not necessarily. But key point is now we look for bullish candles, right? We want to see a bullish sign to tell us, that price is going to go up. And we have a bullish sandwich here, I think. Maybe that's what it's called. I don't know. But here is really, we've got some bullish candles here. We've got a bullish engulfing, which you could see didn't work out. Okay. It worked out for a little bit if you buy on the retest, but you can see overall it would have gotten invalidated by these candles. So now we finally tap this resistance or support and get a bullish engulfing candle, and that could be another signal to try along. So if you get stopped out on this one, small loss, then you try again here, or maybe you go off this and you put your stop loss a little bit wider. Okay, that's fine too. Some people do it different ways. But again, so this is now a dragonfly doji or a hammer, or whatever you want to call it. And we get a bullish engulfing candle after. So that might be another good opportunity to try a long or to try to buy. And then up here, we're back at resistance again. Okay. And what do we have? A bearish engulfing candle. What do you think is going to happen at resistance with a bearish engulfing candle? It's probably going to go down. Now, we have another resistance here, right? And look what happens. We have a bullish engulfing candle at resistance. Do I care about a bullish engulfing candle at resistance? No, I don't. And that's when price drops again. So this is maintaining no bias. It's just saying, because a lot of people will be like, that's a bullish engulfing candle. We're going to go to 50K, you damn bear, blah, blah, blah. You're so bearish, you idiot. And it's like, shut up. That's really what it's like. It's like, dude, I'm just going what I see on the chart. It's unbiased. I see a bullish, that is a bullish engulfing candle, and I would never deny that. But it's at resistance. Would I short that? Probably not, honestly. I probably would not short this now. Okay, if I short this one, that's fine. But I'm not going to short a bullish engulfing candle. Why? Because it's technically bullish. Am I going to long that at resistance? No. So you guys kind of see, this is really the deep end of this is once you start being objective and just seeing things for what they are, I'm not going to long a bullish, or I'm not going to short a bullish engulfing candle because it's not going to work out very often. But I also can't long this because it's at resistance. So if I want to short here, I either needed this entry or I take a go with a very, very tight risk here, or tight risk to reward, right? Very tight stop loss. Or for me personally, I would wait for a breakdown and invalidation of this bullish engulfing candle, which comes here. And then we get the retest and we drop quickly. So you see how that works? So now this becomes a support, okay? This becomes a support. And I need the support to break down for me to short it. And actually, I could put these wicks even at the support. And you can see here, we break down. Okay, so I can't short this because it's technically bullish. So I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to say, I would just be neutral here. I'd be like, okay, I'm neutral now, and this is how you take it step by step. So the more information you get, the more information you can use to build a case and make a judgment against what's happening in the markets, right? So if we get this bearish engulfing candle here, I'm going to say, okay, price is more likely to drop, and it drops. And then we get this bullish engulfing candle, I'm going to say, okay, it's not a given that we're going to drop now. Bulls fought back, we could bounce, but we're still at resistance, so I'm not going to turn bullish. And this is what gets people on their emotions. They go, breakout, I'm bullish. Oh, shit, I'm bearish. Oh, no, I'm mega bearish. Oh, I'm bullish again. Oh, no, I'm bearish. Oh, yeah, I'm bullish again. Oh, no, I'm bearish. Crap. And then they have to sell down here at the lows, right? So for me, I say, okay, this is at resistance. I'm watching now. There's nothing for me to do. This is a low volume push to resistance. Oh, now I say, and I can't be, and the thing is, you guys, your things are going to look bullish at the top and bearish at the bottom. That's how it always works. And a really good example is coin. I posted coin a long time ago and I said, this is in negative price discovery and it looks like shit. And it did, but it was actually the exact bottom, which is going to happen because things are going to look the worst at the bottom and the best at the top. Okay, so hold on, I'm getting over here. So I literally posted down here that this is an inverse price discovery, which it was, but you could see it ended up being a deviation for now. But it looked awful down here, right? So you're not going to buy that. Why? Like if you're buying this, if you're buying things like this, more often than not, you're going to be losing money. And that's the key here is to find things that work out more often and stay away from things that are uncertain. If you're buying this, it's just a guess. There's no confirmation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So if we go back to the Bitcoin chart. All right, 4 hour. Okay, let's go back there to where I was talking over here. Okay, now, this is how I do it without emotion. So again, I'm watching here. I'm not bearish because this is a big green bull candle, right? So I'm not expecting price to go down yet. Maybe I have some bearish divergence, which I do. So maybe I'm thinking, okay, price might drop here because we've got that divergence, okay? But I'm not just going to be like, oh, I'm bearish, we're going to zero, because I can't have that bias right now because there's no, other than that bearish divergence, there's nothing to tell me that we're going to go down, and buyers could just push this right back up and keep going. Now, I have a signal, I have the market telling me, okay, this is a bearish engulfing candle at resistance. The market's saying, okay, we might go down now, and we go down, okay? And so here I'm going to be like leaning towards downside. Here, I become more neutral, but still understand that we're at resistance, okay? And that's the key here, you guys, is you don't have to flip bullish. You don't have to stay bearish. And I hate using those words, but you can just be neutral here, okay? Here, I think price is going to go down, and it does. We're at a support now. It holds support temporarily, so we bounce. But we are at resistance again. A lot of people immediately flip bullish here. I would just go neutral, okay, until I see reason. If this support breaks, or if this resistance breaks, then I would be like, okay, resistance is broken now, we'll probably go up, right? So here, we stay neutral because now we're just basically sideways ranging between support and resistance. So this is just neutral now. But why is it neutral? Because we had a bearish sign and a bullish sign. And so now the market's like fighting back and forth. It's tug of war, right? Bears are pushing down, bulls are pushing up, and they're just punching each other, and nobody's winning yet. Now bears take the lead here. This has now turned into resistance, and now you're saying, okay, more likely we go down, and we do go down, right? So it's as simple as that, you guys. I don't know if I could really break it down more simply than that, honestly. Like, this is how I go from neutral. I'll be neutral at a support or resistance until I see a sign to pick a direction. Okay, I don't like to say pick a bias, but pick a direction that I think it could go. And then once I pick that direction, from what the chart tells me, only from what the chart tells me, it's not me saying, like, right here, could this be the top? Yeah, but I don't know that. Now here I say, okay, I think this is a top, right? Because now we have confirmation. Over here, I did the same thing, and I actually thought this was the top as well, and I posted about it, but I didn't post that it was the top here. I waited, okay, because again, before this big red candle, everything looks mega bullish, right? There's no reason to be bearish on that until you get this mega red candle, and then you say, okay, that is the signal. Now I lean downside, right? I'm leaning downside, and we're at resistance now, and we have this bearish engulfing candle, and now I think we go down. We went down. I usually take profit on these drops. We bounce back, and now I kind of go neutral again, but you can see here, we lose the base of this, okay, and even more so, honestly, the base of this. We never reclaim that. If we could go up there, but we never even reclaimed that, and we retested it, and these are bearish retests, okay? So it's pretty easy to not have a bias here and just take it level by level for what it is, all right? But a lot of people get too emotionally involved. They want to be right on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, I don't need to be right because I'm objective. I'm just posting, this is a bearish engulfing candle, and people argued with me. It's hilarious. After this happened, I said 4H bullish or bearish engulfing candle. And somebody said, oh, did you just pick any time frame to fit your bias? And I said, dude, it's a 4H bearish engulfing candle. There's no bias attached to that. That's what it is. You can't argue that this is not a 4H bearish engulfing candle, right? Because it is. So that's where people are ridiculous, first off. Like, oh, you just found something to fit your bias. I'm like, dude, I found a 4H bearish engulfing candle. If I go to different time frames, I don't know what I'm going to find. Like, maybe there was no clear signal on those time frames, but the 4H showed a clear candle pattern, right? So that's how you do it without bias. You just see what you go with what you see on the chart, not with what you feel. Here, you feel bullish, right? Doesn't matter. You just wait. Here, you know things have shifted bearish because you see this mega bearish engulfing candle. You retest that resistance and you go lower. So yeah, you guys, that's the very simple version of it. There's obviously a million different ways you can add to it. You can add different strategies to it. But bullish and bearish engulfing candles are usually easy for people to understand. They're easy for people to see. And again, you're not changing your bias until you see that thing to tell you, right? So just here, you're just bullish, 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 bullish. You're like, yep, we are bullish. Things are bullish. Bam. Oh, things might not be bullish now. They're bullish here. This is bullish. Everything is bullish up until here. Now things have changed, all right? It's like a plot twist in a story. Like, you don't want to predict what's going to happen next in the story until you have that, until you read that next chapter, and you read that next chapter, and it says, "Oh, there's actually a 4H bearish engulfing candle next, in the next 4 hours," and you're like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming. What I got to reassess now what I think is going to happen at the end of this story, because by chapter 10, I think Bitcoin's going to be at 44K now instead of 50K now because we have this bearish engulfing," right? So take it one step at a time, little by little. Screw all the idiots on Twitter that just shout nonsense. Yes, things look bullish at the top. That's why people post bullish things at the top. Yes, things look bearish at the bottom. That's why people post bearish things. But this is why you don't chase entries. You don't FOMO at the bottom long or short at the bottom. You don't FOMO short at the bottom, and you don't FOMO long at the top. You should be getting in on red and getting out on green. It's the easiest way to kill your emotions, okay? Because your success rate's going to be a lot better if you do it that way than if you're chasing these shorts and, chasing the longs. So, does a bearish engulfing count if one wick isn't engulfed? So that's a great question. So again, I'll repeat the question. Somebody said, does a bearish engulfing candle count if the whole wick isn't engulfed? Yes and no. I say yes, it does. It's valid, but it's not as high confidence as if the whole wick is engulfed. So this is a bearish engulfing candle to me. Would I have more confidence if the whole candle wick was engulfed? Yes. That's probably why it bounced a little bit, because it wasn't fully engulfed. If it was fully engulfed, like kind of like this one, maybe, it would probably just tank immediately. Like if this just engulfed the wick and went down, it would probably tank immediately. Since it didn't, that's probably why it retested up here a little bit. Plus, things had just been so bullish that people are going to stay bullish and want to buy the dip still, right? So does it have to engulf the whole thing? No. Like this one, you could see here, it doesn't quite engulf the lower wick. So not max confidence on that working out. But again, you could see it did lead to a push. You got this bullish engulfing candle. Price went up. So if you bought on the retest, you could still make money. But obviously, it was invalidated at some point, right? And now this is another bearish candle at resistance. You can see here this big upper wick, and price never closed above it. So like this is really easy invalidations, you guys. When you see something like this, you're going to say, okay, if price closes above this, we're likely to go up, and I'm going to feel upwards biased, right? I'm going to feel like price could go up. I'm going to think price is going to go up from here. I got to stop saying feel. So if price closes above here, it's likely to keep going up. But below here, we're in a downtrend, okay? And that's very easy ways to know what trend it is, because this is a clear reversal candle. So you're going to say above here, bullish, okay? Above here, price goes up. Below here, price goes down. So you're basically not going to want to buy anything in these levels if price is below here, okay? So there's no reason for me to buy at all in any of these hours. Yeah, there's maybe a scalp opportunity, but I'm leaning downwards biased in this area with price below this wick high. So anything here is fair game to short, basically, from my perspective, okay? And the higher, the better, obviously, okay? And maybe I look for like an actual short setup and not just, like this is a bearish engulfing candle, mega wick rejection. These are great short opportunities on high volume. So maybe I wait for that, then I short. But my point here is, and honestly, if this started wicking up and wicking back down, it was like this, I'd probably short up here anyway. But point being, this tells me that this is the high for now, okay? This is the high for now until it's not. And so as long as we're below that, I could look for shorts with good risk to reward, obviously. Not engulfing, so still a valid candle. What do you mean? Not engulfing, so still a valid candle. Is that a reverse morning star? A reverse morning star would be an evening star. I don't see one right now. But yeah, a morning star is at the bottom and an evening star is at the top. And I don't know. I don't really find success with morning stars very much, honestly, for some reason. But I'm terrible at longing. I will buy spot, but I only leverage trade with shorts. But anyway, evening stars, definitely one of my favorite shorting patterns. Buy bias. Proof of pants. What? When I trade and identify an invalidation of a candle where I put my stop loss, I'm often thinking, yeah, but if that wick is a stop hunt, if your wick is a stop hunt, or if this wick is a stop hunt. I mean, I like to do candle close invalidations for my shorts or longs. So like, let's say that I shorted here, okay, and my invalidation is above this candle. I would close this short if I had to close above there. Okay, that's what I like to do. I like the more I've done this, the more I like candle close invalidations. But that's harder. That's kind of more advanced in my opinion, because if you're new and you're waiting on a candle close invalidation, this candle could go boop, and it closes like, well, hold on. That would be one candle. But this candle could just go doop, and I've seen it happen before, especially when I was new starting out, and I would wait to close because I'd be waiting on a candle close and be like, oh shit, that was dumb. So now I've gotten better at saying, okay, there's a lot more momentum here and it's going to keep going up, and I need to close now before the candle closes. And if I'm wrong and it starts to get below and it closes below again, I can say, okay, that was the stop hunt. I can get back in now. I have a very defined level. But the invalidation wick, I mean, it's impossible to plan stop hunts, you guys. It really is. That's why I use candle closes. Especially in crypto, stop hunts are freaking ridiculous. So you just got to hope that, like, the longer you do it, the more you'll get used to if there's going to be a stop hunt or not, I guess. Like this, to me, looks like the stop hunt, but that just comes from experience. There's no way to know if it's the stop hunt or not. Again, see, this is the stop hunt here. So it's just experience. There's no way for me to really explain how to find the stop hunt. But again, here, you guys, look, we have a 4H bearish engulfing candle at resistance because we have this breakdown. Okay? We have this breakdown. We're at resistance, 4H bearish engulfing candle on high volume. We're also at a little bit of a support here. I wouldn't chase a short here. If I was already in a short, I'd feel good about it. Or if I shorted up here, I'd be okay with it. But, you know, this is telling me that it's likely to go lower because this was a strong downwards push. Very slow bounce up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Strong downwards push. Very weak bounce up. And now we're getting a strong push again. So pretty likely to keep going down in my opinion. But woohoo, SQQ is pushing, baby. Go up, you bastard. Go. But here, again, this is a reversal candle. So I need price to go, because I have a little bit of this, not much, but I need price to go up here to invalidate bearish bias, right? Because right now, yeah, I'm in a long, or I bought some. It's not really a long, it's just buys, but whatever. Spot buys. But you could see here, we have a bearish engulfing candle that has now almost invalidated, but not quite. Right? So we still have some bearish signs up here. Price could still go down, so I have to be aware of that. A lot of lower wicks. So it's just kind of choppy consolidation right now. I'd feel pretty neutral on these time frames that I'm looking at. Now, that doesn't mean higher time frames aren't telling me something completely different, but on this time frame, pretty neutral on everything. You can see this is kind of an evening star, but it happened like evening star up here holds more weight. Like after a move up, evening star moved down. You see how this is kind of after the move down, so it's not technically an evening star because this is up, down, evening star. Like you want your evening stars at the tops and your morning stars at the bottoms, right? So if it starts to drop and then does the pattern, it's not technically a top reversal pattern. That's how I think of that. So it's always a good tip, in my opinion, for people to understand. And look, Twitter continues to drop, as I figured it would. Did I close at 48? Jeebus. Jiminy Christmas. Let's see. Let me calculate my unrealized profits because I should. Oh, man, I missed out on another 2K. Bummer. That's funny. Don't count your unrealized profits. I do it sometimes for fun, just for the hell of it, but not often. And I never, like, what's the word? I never, like, stir over it or, like, oh, no, I shouldn't have closed that. I missed out on profit. It's like, who cares? Move on. I locked in 2K profit during a live stream. I think it was like 2,200, but during a live stream when I could barely pay attention to the chart and I was teaching you guys. So on the other end of that, what if it bounced up another 10 or 20% and I wasn't paying attention, not 10 or 20, but what if it bounced back up to entry and I wasn't paying attention and I missed out on all my, unrealized profit. So never stir over taking profits. If you take profits, you did it for a reason. The only reason you should be mad at yourself for taking profits is if you did it for no reason. If you did it for no reason and then it keeps going, then you'll be like, okay, why did I do that, right? So, what does it really mean when almost every coin pumps or dumps at once? Honestly, bearish conditions are when everything follows itself more often. So, like back in 2018, I would just short altcoins based off Bitcoin because I could make more money, right? So you would just expect, actually, I don't think I shorted in 2018, but I would buy altcoins based on Bitcoin. I would just look at a Bitcoin chart, everything but followed Bitcoin all the time. And if Bitcoin looked like it was going to bounce, I'd buy Litecoin or XRP or whatever, right? And then get that bounce and then I'd close out. And I didn't even look at the altcoin charts. I literally just looked at Bitcoin because I was better at reading it. So usually in bearish conditions is when everything correlates, and in bullish conditions, everything doesn't correlate. And there's just shit popping off everywhere. So that's how I read that. More times, that's usually what happens. You can see my NTR trades working out here pretty well, though. Again, everything's dropping, but I can still have the premonition that something is going to go up, right? I'm not going to short this because just because everything else is dropping doesn't mean that this should drop, right? And it actually is looking like it's going to go up here. We have a nice high volume breakout. We have a retest, and price is starting to push up, and I'm in a little bit of profit, so that's great. Good to see. And you just take it one chart at a time. Just because one chart's bullish or bearish doesn't mean the other one should be. And my last closing tip, I'll get to questions here in 1 second. But my last tip, you guys, is don't go into a chart already wanting to short or long. Because if you do that, if you already want to buy something and you're just going to buy regardless of what the chart looks like. If you go in the chart, you go, oh man, somebody just posted about algo. They're buying it. I got to go buy. Let me look at the chart. And you're going to go, oh yeah, it's at support. Yep, look at this. It's at support. I got to buy this. Look, it's at support. This guy's buying it. Definitely, I mean, I want to buy it too if he's buying it. So, yep. This looks awful right now. This is a big 4H rejection. And, well, yeah, that's just a pullback. You can see here I've got OBV's kind of going up. So, yep. I'm going to buy that. It looks good. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. So, yeah, I've done that too many times where somebody I trust will post something and I'll be like, oh, they're buying this shit. I'm going to go buy it. And then I'll go look at it and I'll be like, it looks okay. I'll buy it anyway and then lose money. So I'm getting better at going, okay, they say to buy. Let me go look at the chart and see what it looks like to me. Let me go look at this and see if your idea is right. Excuse me. Or not if your idea is right. Let me see if your idea matches up with my analysis. And if your idea matches my analysis, that's confluence. If your idea doesn't match my analysis at all, I can't enter that based on your analysis. So over the years, I've gotten better at that. Oh my God, my stock account is so close to all-time high. Let's go. The one reason I swing trade stocks more than crypto is just because I don't have to monitor it 24/7 because I do enjoy family time, hanging out with my son, spending time with my wife and my son after, hours and whatnot. So, I don't like getting alerts in the middle of the evening or whatever on crypto. So a lot of times I just low time frame or intraday trade crypto while I'm sitting on my computer, and then stock market closes. So then I don't have to worry about any of my swing trades and I can pick them back up the next day. Right. So that's what I really like about that, especially weekends. But especially I'm going on vacation this weekend. Tomorrow, actually, I'm leaving in the morning. So I don't really want to have to worry about crypto trades this weekend. I don't want to have to monitor them. Crypto's volatile as all hell, so it could pump 20% overnight or dump 20% overnight. So, you kind of have to really keep up on your trades, especially I'm not as good at high time frames, so I really have to keep up on them. My strategy is a lot better on low time frames. So, anyway, can you show how OBV plays out on your recent Bitcoin prediction? I mean, I don't really make predictions. I just say where I think price is going to go. Doesn't really mean it's a prediction. It's just saying, well, this is what's happening. But look at that high volume selling. So OBV is dropping and it made a new low now. That's basically what I see. But 4 hour is also dropping heavily. We had this nice range breakout or breakdown, and look, we have this breakdown here. We have another breakdown here. We have a nice heavy drop now to a little bit of support, but it looks like it'll reject. Top Gun X is pointing down. And when Top Gun X goes through these zones, you usually bounce. You can see this momentum is showing downwards momentum. We go through a zone and we usually bounce, and now we've gone through that zone, so it's likely to continue down now that momentum has continued down through that zone. So I don't know how the hell Top Gun X does this, but whenever you go through these zones, you likely get pullbacks in the opposite direction of the trend and then continue in the trend. So right now, Top Gun X is showing downwards trend on the 4H, and we got the, counter trend bounce, and now we're going back down. So, I mean, low time frame for me, you guys, is like 1 hour charts and lower. Mid time frame is like 2 hour to 4 hour or 6 hour. And then high time frame would be like 6 hour in one day or some, weekly, whatever. But honestly, for my stocks, I really like to trade like 1 minute through 15 minute, catch a trade in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, make a couple grand and call it good. Honestly, I've been killing it the last 2 weeks. Like I've not had a losing day on my scalp trades. My low time frame scalp trades. I think I've only lost like 2 or 3 out of probably 10 or 15. So I've been doing really well lately. I'm getting more cautious, actually. My Twitter position this morning, I went smaller just because when I'm really hot, it's easy to get cocky and keep going bigger. But actually, for me, I start going a little bit smaller because I'm like, I'm going to be wrong one of these times, so I don't want it to be the time where I go big. So I try to stay consistent because eventually I'm going to have a losing day. But the last 2 weeks have been good, and they're, of course, they're not always like that. But anyway, so that's all I got, you guys. I actually have to go. It's been an hour. I got to go get ready to pack. Do I like to use fib levels? So I use fib levels for Top GoonX only. I use fib levels occasionally, but mostly for Top GoonX because Top GoonX literally gives me the fibs to follow. Like on this Sol, where's Sol at? Like in Ethereum too, but Sol is a good example. So I've got this 6 hour. So this is the only reason I use fibs, and Top GoonX is incredible. I don't know how it does it, but basically I've got this 6 hour sell approaching signal. So I'm just going to go from the recent impulse here that caused the signal. Okay, so this is the impulse. And the Top GoonX says that I need to short the 0.786 fib if it rejects. So you can see here, 0.786 fib rejected, okay, on high volume. And it's going to say the rules per Top GoonX say that if that rejects, it's likely to go to the 0.236 fib, okay, very likely, like 80%, okay. It goes to the 0.236 fib. Rules also state if the 0.236 fib breaks down, it's probably going to go lower and it's going to be trend continuation. So what happened here? Broke through. Oh, look at that bullish candle. We're going to the moon. Ah, shit. Okay. Broke through. This tells me that it's likely to see strong trend continuation. Now, I actually did close. Actually, I think I held and then closed down here on this candle. Yes, I did. I don't know why I held. I'm usually not good at holding that long, but trusted Top GoonX for once in my life, maybe. But anyway, so I closed down here once momentum started stalling. And you can see we've just chopping around. I closed at like 219, 218. I closed at 218. My target was 212 though, but I closed a little early. But anyway, you can see how Top GoonX worked out great. It gave me all I did was follow Top GoonX rules. Short the 786 fib after that alert. Hold to the 0.236 unless it breaks. It broke, so then you keep holding and then you close. That's the only thing it doesn't really tell you is when to close. But it kind of does because you can see I got a buy signal here and a sell signal here. So if I just bought on this buy approaching signal on the dip, if I just bought there and held, which technically I probably would have closed anyway because it went lower, blah, blah, blah. But if I were to just, this Top GoonX tells trend reversals, right? So it says bullish trend, and now it says bearish trend on the 6 hour chart. And so you can see here, if I just bought on this on the dip at 98 and held, I would get a 40% move if I sold when the trend reversed. So now technically, I need to look for signs of trend reversal on Top GoonX, or for Top GoonX trend reversal to say that we hold this and bounce, or that we get some bullish divergence somewhere or something. So otherwise, Top GoonX could totally reset, and when it resets, then I would look to buy again. And Sol doesn't have to drop when it resets. Sol could continue just to chop around, and Top GoonX resets while Sol's up here, and then that would also be a bullish divergence, and you could go up. So, yeah. So that's what it is. And you guys, my portfolio is like $500 away from all-time high now. Maybe less. Let's go. My shorts are working out. That's really cool. So the hard part for me is like just seeing because when I scalp and stuff, I'm usually like pretty linear, right? Like it's pretty obviously there's some crevices, but it's so low time frame that it's like, oh, I'm down for the next 2 hours, or oh, end of the day I'm down, and then I come back tomorrow, I'm like, okay, I'm up again, right? But on high time frames, I have to be diligent, and it's taken me like a month to get back to my all-time high. So I got to my all-time high really fast and peaked out, and then had a nice little drop, which is fine. It's still, my curve is still up. And then now it's been like a month and I'm finally getting back up to all-time high, which is cool. It's like good gratification to be diligent, to not over risk, to try to get back up there, right? Just to be steady and grind and slowly build back up there and just keep building, using your strategy and being consistent and just trusting yourself that you'll get back there and blah, blah, blah. So that's always fun. It's really cool to see when your strategies, continue to play out like that. So especially my stocks, because I've just, I traded stocks a little bit last year, but I've really started to get more into it this year. So especially with more volatility. So anyway, guys, that's all for me. It's been an hour. I appreciate you all joining. I am working on a Prime XBT video right now. It's about a Captain Hook pattern that I like. It's a bullish pattern. So I'll post that whenever it's ready, once I get it made and sent to my editor. But otherwise, if you want to join my free Telegram, stay tuned for the announcement tomorrow. You'll get instructions on how to join that. Otherwise, that's all. Catch you guys later. I appreciate you guys all joining. Yes, what's up, Leo? Thanks for joining my live stream. I'm glad you made it. Did he just get on my live stream and then I'm leaving? My live streams are basically every Thursday at 9:30 now. I can do a 10 if I need to, if that works better for most people, but 9:30 my time, 10:30 Eastern. Trying to keep it consistent. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you all. I had a lot of fun today, and I'll see you later. I had a lot of fun today, and I'll see you later.